Alright, my friends, today is December the 9th. It is a few hours into the New York session. Let's do the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. Starting off, before we get into the Bitcoin macro, just a quick little reminder that on Wednesday we're going to have the CPI. So that'll probably affect price action in some way because of the fact that things are feeling a bit heavy, a bit bloody right now. The CPI will probably, at the beginning of the week, contribute to us selling off more, I would imagine. So following the CPI, though, we'll see if we get the classic kind of rebound from the unwind. That would line up really well with what my medium-term plan is. So later in the video, we will cover that. So let's go ahead and start off with the... Yo, guys, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Appreciate it. Macro talk on Bitcoin. Still maximum bullish, but as it stands, we're expecting that we're going to continue to build out this range. So when I first shared this range, got a little backlash on social media, but now, right, people are probably starting to realize that this is the most likely way that this will play out. So we continue to do something like this doodle. I originally slapped together this doodle, no thought put into it, and as it stands, it's probably going to end up playing out somewhat similarly to this. So basically the kind of main thing that we're focused on right now is because we got that range high fake out and we're reaccepting back into the range, right? That unfortunately means that there's a decent likelihood that we're going to trade down towards the lows. So it really is a question of, are we going to kind of trade down and find, a higher low and do this kind of triangle formation, or are we going to, we could be doing the triangle formation whether we make new, attack the lows or not. So it's going to either be a higher low situation or a kind of lower low situation. Either or, I think we'll end up going higher next year. What I'm concerned with, or paying attention to rather, is going to be around that kind of midpoint. So I think that no matter what, even if we're not going to successfully put in the higher low and build out this triangle, that we'll probably get that sort of bounce, which conveniently lines up with what we were just talking about, the CPI. So we probably bleed a little bit more today and tomorrow, and then see that rebound probably on Wednesday, Thursday. So that's kind of how I'm expecting that to play out. Basically, probably get a dead cat before we continue to attack the lows. But again, I am still max bullish, right? In the sense that I think that all we're doing is just chopping people up, having Bitcoin accept value just below 100K before we eventually break through 100K. This is just a classic way that, I almost always expect things to play out in this sort of fashion where you have your large benchmark asset trade up in that way so quickly. We need that convergence with value. So essentially, I think that the way that the rest of Q4 for this year is going to play out is probably going to be most likely chop. I would love to see us put in, a higher low here this week and then see us kind of trade back up going into the end of the year. That would be fantastic because you just know the altcoins would go wild if that was the case. As it stands, though, I think that we're probably going to be seeing a little bit of blood here because if Bitcoin continues to trade down, right, obviously, 99.9% of alts are just going to get crushed in the process. Moving forward, though, once we get into Q1, I do expect some sort of volatility, right? Whether that's, in Q4 or at the beginning of Q1, right? Some degree of pain. Looks like it's going to come in Q4, but following that, right, I think that we'll just be off to the races for, a month or two in Q1. From there, as we start to get close to Q2, that's when I think that that significant de-risking stage will take place. I'm seeing some consensus from some other people too, like that's becoming the prevailing, idea is that we're going to be bearish going into Q2. So yeah, I haven't seen anything that has told me that my plan is not likely to work. So as such, just keep running with it more or less. That's going to be it for macro. All right, as far as medium time frame is concerned, so yeah, this is unfortunately, it's playing out kind of like I said. These are the two ranges within the larger range, and like I had said before we did the range breakout and failure attempt, I basically said that us staying within value is the most likely scenario when we're in value chopping. Expecting that to play out, to continue to play out is almost always going to be the safest bet, right? Which is what happened. It chopped for a few days, and then it did the attempted breakout, which was my second highest probability. Well, unfortunately, what's the third highest probability now, right? It is unfortunately attacking the lows, right? So do I think it will do this where it's going to trade down to 82K? No, it's the idea, right? So the idea is that we probably will attack these lows per this chart, right? And then from there, the breakout becomes super high probability, right? I think that the breakdown is the lowest probability out of all all of them. So, you know, in the medium term, unfortunately, you probably need to be braced for impact, but in the longer term picture, it just sets us up to trade out of this range, right, to the upside, which is what we're all patiently waiting for. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now. I don't think that we're gonna, you know, break down and have bear market structure or anything. We're just gonna, you know, get this, you know, continuation of this balance being built out. It's a perfectly healthy thing. You know, the way that this is playing out thus far is this is very much, you know, triangling. It's not your classic one where all the highs aren't necessarily equal. The highs are kind of shifting up too, but we're, you know, we're building, you know, this kind of triangle formation like I always talk about in the group. And that's what I always want to see. If I see that out of my benchmark asset, it's just like, you know, the stars aligning. So TLDR, the bottom's probably not in. There's some pretty aggressive spot selling that's been coming in the past 12 hours or so. So I don't think that it's going to stop anytime soon. Trying to predict when the selling is going to be over is futile anyways. Just be patient and wait for it to be over, and then we're going to bid, right? It's that simple. Don't get caught up in price going down and people yapping on social media. It's going to be easy to maybe flip bearish or whatever, or wonder, is it over, right? That conversation is going to be all over the place this week, right? If the bloodier we get, the more convinced people will be that it's all over. I really don't think that we need to be that worried just yet. I think that we have at least another month and a half, 2 months in this trend. A little bit of altcoin chat. So, you know, you guys could probably take a wild guess as to what I think is good, right? It's, you know, I like Solana and I like memes still. Yes, they're, you know, very much argue that they're consensus right now, and maybe they are. Only time will tell on that. I think that as Bitcoin ranges, people are getting really... they're getting caught up in what happened over the past 48 hours. You know, when you zoom out and you realize that Solana and memes have been the best performers this cycle, just because over the past couple of weeks they have lagged. They haven't done much of anything while other stuff is caught up. People get, you know, should you have really bought XRP and had XRP be your base for your portfolio, or should it have been Solana, right? Obviously, Solana was the big winner with that. So I'm keeping that in mind, that I really think that people are getting impatient with their memes, and the meme coin charts, I mean, they look ready to go. Dogecoin, for example, is the barometer that we should all be looking at. I mean, Pepe is actually breaking out, but Dogecoin clearly wants to trade up, and the moment that Dogecoin is successful in doing so, it's just going to give that permission to all the memes to play catch up on that. So that's basically where I'm leaning with things right now, is that I really do still believe that everything will return to Bitcoin, Solana, and memes, mostly Bitcoin and memes, to be honest. That's probably where a lot of the purchasing power is going to return to. It's that perfect left and right side kind of argument. So anyways, that's going to be it for me. Good luck out there. Stay safe, and yeah, stay locked in. Might be feeling a little boring or whatever right now because, you know, maybe the opportunities aren't super ripe right now, but it just takes like one day, poof, and they're back. So stay locked in, make your plans, set your alerts, know what you want to buy, know what you want to sell, whatever. Stay focused. Cheers.